this is no longer just science fiction. Researchers studying bottlenose dolphins have already taken a real step toward two-way communication. Using decades of recorded dolphin whistles, scientists identified shared sounds that seemed to carry specific social meanings. Then, they played some of those sounds back to dolphins, and the dolphins responded. Not as a full conversation, not as a human-style translation, but as a controlled scientific test showing that some animal signals may be recognized, repeated, and understood in context. That is the breakthrough. We are not yet talking to animals, but for the first time, we may be learning how to listen well enough that animals can answer back.
Inside the science of animal communication with AI, the question. For thousands of years, humans have tried to understand animals. We watched them, we trained them, we lived beside them. But one question has always remained just out of reach. Can artificial intelligence understand animals? What are they actually communicating? Not what we imagine, not what we project. What is really happening inside animal communication itself? Today, a new tool has entered this ancient mystery: artificial intelligence. For the first time in history, we are using AI to analyze animal sounds, movements, and social behavior at a scale that humans could never reach. And something surprising is beginning to appear. Not sentences, not words, but structure, patterns, systems. This is the real story of how AI is changing our understanding of animals. A very important clarification. Before we go any further, one thing must be made very clear. Artificial intelligence is not translating animal language into English. No app can tell you what a whale or a dog is thinking. What AI does is much more subtle. It searches for patterns. It discovers structure. It links signals to situations. It reveals hidden regularities inside enormous amounts of data. This distinction matters, because this story is not about fantasy, it is about science. Why humans could never solve this alone? Animal communication is extremely complex. A single species can produce thousands of vocal variations, context-dependent signals, and long sequences that change over time. Researchers can listen to recordings. But animals do not produce a few hours of data. They produce millions of events, across years, across social groups, across environments. AI can analyze what humans cannot: timing patterns, repeating sequences, clustering of sounds, subtle variations, long-range structure. And it can do this without assuming what communication should look like. It simply measures what exists.
Case study: the prairie dog. Fashion sense. To understand how deep this goes, look at the prairie dog. For years, we thought their chirps were just scared noises. But researchers used machine learning and AI-based acoustic analysis to look more closely. They discovered that a prairie dog's alarm call is not just saying, "predator," it is descriptive. The AI found different acoustic signatures for human in a blue shirt versus human in a yellow shirt. It found a specific sound for dog and a different one for coyote. It even found a sound for human with a gun. The AI revealed that these rodents are not just reacting. They are labeling their world with a level of detail we never suspected. The whale research. One of the most ambitious projects in this field today is the study of sperm whales. Sperm whales produce complex sequences of clicks. These sequences are known as codas. For decades, biologists suspected that these codas were structured, but the structure was too complex for manual analysis. Now, large AI models trained specifically on whale communication data are being used to analyze these recordings at scale. Researchers discovered something remarkable. Whales use something similar to musical expressions. They use rubato, subtle changes in timing between clicks. They use ornamentation. An extra click was added at the end, almost like a flourish. Suddenly, scientists are no longer working with a few hundred known patterns. They are identifying thousands of distinct coda variations across different whale communities. The goal is not to translate whale language. The goal is to discover whether a structured, reusable sound system exists, and it increasingly appears that it does.
The ghost in the cave. The Bat Diaries.
Now think about a cave filled with thousands of bats. To a human, it sounds like chaos, just endless screeching. But researchers applied AI to long-term recordings of Egyptian fruit bats, and suddenly, a social drama appeared. The AI could identify the speaker. It could identify the listener. It was discovered that bats mostly argue. They argue about food. They argue about sleeping spots. They argue about personal space. And here is the truly fascinating part. The AI discovered that bats change their tone depending on who they are talking to. They even use a special vocal style when speaking to their babies, a kind of animal motherese, a softer and different pattern, just like humans use with infants.
Beyond one species.
Another major effort in this field is to build AI tools that can analyze communication across many species: birds, primates, marine mammals. The idea is simple. If AI can learn the structure of human language from data, then it should be able to learn the structure of non-human communication systems as well. In one recent line of research, a model trained only on bird vocalizations was able to recognize structured similarities in other animal sound datasets, even in species it was never directly trained on. This does not mean animals share one language, but it suggests that nature may reuse similar communication patterns across very different species.
Do animals have language?
This is one of the most sensitive scientific questions. Most researchers do not claim that animals have language in the human sense. Human language includes grammar, abstraction, and symbolic reference to imaginary concepts. Scientists are studying communication systems here. Systems that may contain distinct signals, combinatorial structure, contextual meaning, and social coordination. AI allows researchers to test these questions objectively, not through anecdotes, through large-scale data.
What about dogs and domestic animals?
You may have heard about AI trying to understand dogs. This area is very different from whale research. For domestic animals, AI is used mainly to detect stress, pain, fear, confusion, and behavioral changes. Models analyze vocalizations, posture, movement, ear and tail position, facial expressions, and situational context. This is already useful in real life. It helps veterinarians, it helps shelters, it helps trainers. It improves animal welfare. But it still does not translate thoughts. It detects states.
Real-world success today.
Right now, AI-based animal analysis is already being used in livestock farming to detect illness and distress early, veterinary medicine to assess pain and recovery, wildlife rehabilitation to evaluate social integration, and scientific research to track long-term behavioral change. These are not futuristic applications. They are operational. They improve decisions. They reduce suffering. Why this also matters to countries. Understanding animal communication is not only about curiosity. Animals react early to environmental damage, illegal human activity, disease outbreaks, and ecosystem collapse. AI allows researchers and governments to use animal behavior as a biological monitoring layer, not because animals are being turned into informants, but because they are extremely sensitive indicators of environmental stress. This helps protect ecosystems and monitor protected areas. The most important limit. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Even if AI finds beautiful structure in animal communication, we still do not know what animals experience. AI detects correlations. It does not reveal subjective inner life. We still interpret patterns through human scientific frameworks. And there is a real risk of projection. We want animals to speak like us, but their communication systems may be fundamentally different from human language. AI does not solve that philosophical problem. It only gives us better tools to explore it. Can we talk back? Some researchers are cautiously exploring whether AI can generate signals that follow the same statistical structure as animal communication. In carefully controlled playback experiments with elephants, researchers have used recorded and AI-assisted synthesized low-frequency rumbles to test how groups respond to specific social signals. In one famous example, playback of a movement-related call elicited a response from elephants, with them gathering and moving together. This is not a conversation. It is controlled experimentation, and it is handled carefully. Because altering animal communication can disturb social behavior and ecosystems. Why this is actually revolutionary. For most of human history, biology was limited by observation. We watched, we recorded, we classified. Now, biology has entered the age of large-scale pattern discovery. AI is allowing scientists to analyze communication systems that are too fast, too subtle, too long-term, and too complex for humans to study alone. This is quietly changing how animal cognition and social behavior are studied. What we can realistically expect next. In the near future, AI will mainly help humans detect stress and pain earlier, identify disease faster, monitor ecosystems more accurately. It will not create human-animal conversations. The real progress will be in listening better. The deeper shift. This story is not really about machines. It is about perspective. For a long time, humans assumed that meaningful communication belonged almost exclusively to us. AI is now revealing that structured communication systems exist far beyond our own species. Not identical to human language, not necessarily translatable, but real, complex, and deeply social. Artificial intelligence is not teaching animals to speak. It is teaching humans how to listen.